Sometime between 6 and 9 tomorrow morning, your blood pressure is going to do something it will not do at any other point in the day, and there are 4 ordinary habits that can quietly make it worse. It is going to climb on its own before you have said a single word to anyone, before your coffee, before the news, before your feet even hit the floor. That climb is called the morning surge, and researchers have been measuring it for decades. A 2015 meta-analysis in the Journal of Stroke and Cerebrovascular Diseases pulled together 7 long-term studies covering more than 14,000 patients. And one of the things it noted is that cardiovascular events happen more often in the morning hours than at any other time of day. Not the afternoon, not the evening. The morning. Now here's what most people get wrong about this. They think the morning surge is the problem. It isn't. The surge is normal. Every human being has one. The problem is what you stack on top of it. And for many adults over 60, those 4 habits, 4 ordinary, innocent-looking things done before 9 a.m., can pile onto that natural surge and keep pressure running higher than it needs to be for hours afterward. One of them is sitting on a pharmacy shelf right now with the words non-drowsy printed on the box. And most people have no idea what that phrasing is quietly telling them. Another one happens in your bathroom, and it can distort the number on your home monitor badly enough to scare you into a phone call you never needed to make. In the next several minutes, I'm going to walk you through all 4 habits, the fix for each one, and the reason the reading you take at 7 in the morning may not be telling you the truth. Stay with me, because the 4th one is the one almost everybody does, and it's the easiest one to fix by tomorrow. Here is exactly what you are going to get in this video. First, the ingredient hiding in common non-drowsy cold and allergy products that the Mayo Clinic specifically flags for people with high blood pressure, and the exact word to look for on the label. Second, the truth about your morning coffee, not whether to quit it, because I am not going to ask you to quit it, but the timing question that actually matters, based on what caffeine can do to a reading. Third, the connection between your first 30 minutes of news, email, and morning rushing, and your pressure, and a 2-minute reset that many people find genuinely useful. Fourth, the bathroom mistake before a home reading, a reflex researchers have documented for decades, and the CDC-style preparation routine that removes it. And fifth, a simple 7-day logging method drawn from the American Heart Association's guidance on home monitoring that can turn your next doctor's appointment into a completely different conversation. Every one of those 5 is coming, in order, and each one is something you can act on this week. Before we go further, a quick word on who's talking to you. I'm a doctor, and this channel exists to do one thing: take real published research on blood pressure and translate it into plain language for adults over 60. One quick note that matters. This video is education, not medical advice for your specific situation, and nothing here should replace a conversation with your own doctor. Let me tell you about Walter. Walter is 71. He's a retired machinist living in Dayton, Ohio, in the same brick ranch house he's owned since 1989. He was diagnosed with high blood pressure at 64. He takes 1 medication for it every morning, and by his own description, he had it handled. His last few office visits were fine. Then his daughter bought him a home blood pressure monitor for Christmas, and that's when the trouble started. Walter's routine looked like this: alarm at 5:45. Straight to the kitchen where the coffee maker was already loaded the night before. 2 cups, sometimes a third, before the sun was up. It was April, so his spring allergies were going, and he'd been taking a non-drowsy allergy and congestion tablet from the drugstore every morning for about 2 weeks. Then he'd sit down in his recliner with the morning news, and Walter will tell you himself that the news does not relax him. By 7:15, he'd remember the monitor, strap the cuff on right there in the recliner, still needing to use the bathroom, still stewing about whatever the anchors had just said, and press the button. One morning the screen read, 162/94. Walter stared at it. He took it again. 158/91. Now, according to the American Heart Association's blood pressure categories, numbers in that range sit well into the high blood pressure zone, and Walter knew it. He called his daughter. He seriously considered taking a second blood pressure pill on his own that morning, and I want to pause on that because deciding to double a medication without your doctor is genuinely dangerous, and it is exactly the kind of decision a scary number pushes people toward. To his credit, Walter called his doctor's office instead, and when his doctor walked through his morning step by step, the picture changed completely. The coffee, the decongestant, the news, the full bladder, the rushed reading with no rest beforehand. 4 separate habits, every single one landing in the same 3-hour window, every single one stacked on top of the natural morning surge his body was already producing. When Walter measured properly a week later, same time of day, habits adjusted, seated and rested, his numbers told a much calmer story. I'm telling you about Walter not because he's unusual. I'm telling you about Walter because his morning is, almost detail for detail, the standard American retirement morning. And the same stack is sitting quietly inside the routines of millions of adults over 60 who have no idea it's there. So let's talk about why the morning is different. Because once you understand the mechanism, all 4 habits suddenly make sense. Here is the plain English version. When you wake up, your body deliberately raises your blood pressure. Stress hormones rise. Your nervous system shifts into its daytime gear. Your blood vessels tighten slightly, and your heart picks up the pace. Your body is preparing you to stand up, move, and function after hours of lying flat. That coordinated rise is the morning surge. Think of your circulation like a small town's water tower. Overnight, demand is low. The tower sits full and quiet, and the pressure in the pipes is gentle. Then 6 a.m. arrives. Showers turn on, dishwashers run, sprinklers start, and the pump at the base of that tower kicks on hard to keep pressure up all over town. That pump kicking on is your morning surge. It's supposed to happen. But notice something about the water tower. If the pump is already running hard, that is the worst possible moment to open every extra tap in town at once, because now the system is straining. That's what the 4 habits do. They open extra taps during the exact window when the pump is already working its hardest. And this window matters more than people realize. That 2015 meta-analysis I mentioned, 7 longitudinal studies, more than 14,000 patients, was built specifically to answer whether the size of the morning surge predicts future cardiovascular events, and it noted that those events cluster in the morning hours. More recently, a follow-up study tracked patients with hypertension using ambulatory monitoring, that's a cuff worn around the clock, to evaluate the morning surge as a predictor of major adverse cardiovascular events. Researchers do not build studies of 14,000 people and then follow-up studies on top of them around a trivia question. The morning window is where serious cardiovascular research has pointed its instruments. Now, the part that almost no one tells you, and this is the detail that changes everything. You cannot cancel the morning surge, and you shouldn't want to. It's physiology. What you can control, completely and for free, is whether you stack 4 additional pressure raisers on top of it between 6 and 9 a.m. Walter wasn't broken. Walter's medication wasn't failing. Walter was opening 4 extra taps while the pump was already running. Let's look at how differently that stack shows up in 3 different lives. Dolores is 66, a retired school secretary in Tampa, Florida. Her habit is the coffee. 3 cups between 6:30 and 8 every morning out on the lanai. Dolores doesn't smoke, walks 2 miles most days, and eats carefully. But her doctor asked her to start home monitoring, and she took her readings at 8 a.m., in other words, right on top of cup number 3. Here's what caffeine can do. It may cause a short but dramatic increase in blood pressure, even in people who don't otherwise have high blood pressure. That's straight from the Mayo Clinic's own guidance. And here's the wrinkle that makes Dolores' situation tricky. The response varies from person to person. Some regular coffee drinkers seem to develop a tolerance to the effect, and others don't. Which means Dolores can't assume she's one of the tolerant ones, and neither can you. The fix for Dolores was not giving up coffee. It was a timing rule. Measure before cup number 1, or wait at least 30 minutes after it, never in the middle of the caffeine window. That way the number on the monitor reflected her actual baseline instead of her caffeine response. Once she started measuring before her first cup, her home log started matching what her doctor saw in the office. Ray is 74, in Minneapolis, a retired postal carrier. His habit is the one that worries me most. Every winter Ray catches a cold or two, and every winter he does what he's done since the 1970s. He buys a non-drowsy cold and sinus product and takes it with breakfast so he can get on with his day. Here's the thing about that phrase, non-drowsy. On many multi-symptom cold products, it signals a decongestant, and the classic one is pseudoephedrine. Decongestants work by narrowing blood vessels. That's how they dry up your nose. But the vessels in your nose are not the only vessels that get the message. This is well enough established that Medline Plus, the NIH's Drug Information Service, has a full entry on pseudoephedrine, and the Mayo Clinic keeps an entire reference page devoted to one question: which cold remedies are safe for people with high blood pressure? Which should tell you something, because nobody writes that page unless the answer is, not all of them. Ray had been taking his cold tablet every morning for 2 weeks straight, during cold season, in January, stacked right on his morning surge. Nobody had ever connected it for him, because the box was over the counter, and the habit was 50 years old. The fix took one conversation with his pharmacist about which options on the shelf make sense for someone managing blood pressure. That conversation is free, and it's available at every CVS and Walgreens counter in America. Eleanor is 63, in Phoenix, still working part-time doing the books for her son's landscaping business. Her habit is the spiral: phone in hand before her feet hit the floor, email, then the news, then a text thread about an invoice problem, all before 7. By the time she takes her morning reading, she's been mentally sprinting for 45 minutes, and she takes that reading fast, between tasks, before she's even used the bathroom. Eleanor's stacking 2 of the 4 at once. Stressful situations can send your pressure up in the moment, and a morning built entirely out of stressful inputs means you're generating those moments in a chain, a connection well established enough that it has its own page in the Mayo Clinic's patient materials. Then the bladder. This sounds almost silly, but it's real, and it's been documented in the medical literature for decades. A full bladder triggers reflex changes in blood pressure. Your body responds to that signal, and your monitor faithfully records the response. Eleanor's log looked alarming. Eleanor's actual baseline, measured calmly after using the bathroom, was a different picture. 3 people, 3 different doors into the same 3-hour window. Now let me give you the full fix, habit by habit, in the order I'd want you to tackle them. Here is exactly what to do, starting tomorrow morning. Number 1. Audit your medicine cabinet for decongestants, today if you can. Take out every cold, flu, sinus, and allergy product you own, and read the active ingredients on the back panel. You are looking for the word pseudoephedrine, and while you're there, be suspicious of any multi-symptom product with the letter D in its name, because that D often stands for decongestant. If you find one and you have high blood pressure, don't just toss it and hope. Bring it, or a photo of the label, to your pharmacist and ask the simple question: is this appropriate for someone managing blood pressure? And if not, what is? There are safer and less safe choices on that shelf. That's the entire reason the Mayo Clinic's cold remedy guidance for people with high blood pressure exists, and the pharmacist can walk you to the right one in 2 minutes. This is number 1 because it's the habit with the most direct pharmacological effect and the easiest permanent fix. Number 2, take your reading before your first cup of coffee or wait at least 30 minutes after it, never in between. Notice what I am not saying. I am not saying quit coffee. I drink coffee. Your morning coffee is likely staying right where it is. What matters for your home log is that caffeine may cause a short but noticeable rise in pressure, and your response is personal. You may be tolerant, you may not be. So take the reading first, coffee second. If you want to satisfy your own curiosity, you can even take one reading before your coffee and another 30+ minutes after it for a few days and see whether your own numbers move. That's information worth having, and it's information about you, not an average. Number 3, put a buffer between waking up and the world's problems. For the first 30 minutes after you wake up, while your water tower pump is running its hardest, keep the news off and the phone down. I know that's a habit change, and I know the morning news feels like part of the routine, like coffee itself. But the basic point is plain. Stressful moments can push pressure up in the moment, and a morning stacked with them keeps generating those pushes. So here's the 2-minute reset I promised you. Sit in your chair, feet flat, and breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4, then out through your mouth for a count of 6. Do that for 2 minutes before you turn anything on. It costs nothing. Many people find it settles them noticeably, and the news will still be there at 9, covering the exact same stories. Number 4, fix the reading itself, because a distorted number can do more damage to your peace of mind than any of the first 3 habits do to your arteries. The CDC publishes guidance on the proper way to measure your blood pressure, and the American Heart Association explains how the resulting numbers map to categories, and the preparation steps are where almost everyone slips. Use the bathroom first, remember. That full bladder reflex has been documented for decades. Then sit quietly for 5 full minutes before you press the button. Feet flat on the floor, legs uncrossed, back supported, arm resting at heart level on the table, cuff on bare skin, and no talking. Not to your spouse, not to the dog, not to the television, because talking during a reading nudges the number 2. Then take 2 readings about a minute apart and note them both. 5 minutes of stillness feels like an eternity the first time. Set a timer and let it run. The number you get at the end of it is the number your doctor actually needs. Now, one more move, and this is the one that goes beyond fixing problems into genuinely changing your care. Almost nobody walks into their doctor's office with this, and the patients who do get a different level of conversation. The American Heart Association publishes guidance on home blood pressure monitoring, and the power move is this. For the 7 days before your next appointment, take your readings at the same 2 times every day, once in the morning, before coffee and before any medication, following every preparation step from number 4, and once in the evening. 2 readings each time, a minute apart, written down with the date and time, along with a 1-line note about anything unusual, like a cold tablet or a rough night's sleep. What you're handing your doctor is 14 properly taken data points with context, instead of the single snapshot they get in the office. A snapshot taken on a day you drove through traffic, sat in a waiting room, and maybe drank coffee on the way. One number is a guess. A 7-day log is a pattern, and patterns are what treatment decisions should be built on. One important caveat: this log is for your doctor, not for you to act on alone. If your home numbers look high, the answer is a phone call to your doctor's office, never a self-adjusted dose. And if you ever get a reading that's severely elevated, and you have symptoms like chest pain, shortness of breath, or trouble speaking, that is not a logging situation. That's an emergency, and you call for help. So let's bring it home. Your blood pressure surges every morning, by design. That's the water tower pump kicking on, and studies covering more than 14,000 patients have made the morning window the most scrutinized 3 hours in blood pressure research. You can't turn the pump off. What you can do, starting tomorrow, is stop opening the 4 extra taps, the hidden decongestant, the coffee stacked under your reading, the stress spiral in the first 30 minutes, and the rushed full bladder measurement that lies to you. Not one of those fixes costs money. Not one requires a prescription. The medicine cabinet audit takes 10 minutes this afternoon. The rest is just tomorrow morning, done in a slightly different order. And remember Walter in Dayton. The scariest number he ever saw on his monitor wasn't his blood pressure talking. It was his morning talking. One more time, because it matters. This video is educational. It is not medical advice for your specific case. And please don't start, stop, or change any medication, prescription, or over-the-counter without talking with your own doctor or pharmacist first. They know your history. I don't. If this video connected some dots for you, do me one favor, hit the like button and subscribe, because it genuinely helps this channel reach the next person over 60 who's staring at a scary morning number without knowing why. I'll see you in the next one.